Don't be thinking, oh my God, I gotta read 7 books in 7 days now because Peachy Jamila did it. Like, you ain't gotta do all that. Just wait for mommy. You're doing a good job. Okay. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, subscribe because you don't want to miss out. Today I'm doing something different. I definitely spoke about doing this on my channel before, but this is the first time I'm talking about books. I don't know why it took me so long, but today is the day, so don't panic. I took them off and I tried to put them back and like they're leaning. It's looking like the Leaning Tower of Pisa right now, but I don't have a bookshelf, so I keep my books here. But anyway, how about I read 7 books in 7 days? This is probably the smallest book I read in those 7 days, and this is probably the thickest, or right about, you know, the thickest. And let me tell you, number one, you can't go through books that quickly if you're not actually enjoying them. Like, there's actually no cheat code. It's not like, I don't know, I have like a super speedy brain. I enjoyed reading the books, so I went through them quite quickly, and I had time to do so. So I think that's just the key thing, because, you know, I'm not a superhuman. I just decided to read because I enjoyed reading. Now, I had already started reading this book. This is called A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J Maas. This is one book that my best friend Renee recommended to me, and this is actually her book. So I was reading this from time ago. I had a pause, and then one day, okay, Corona came around, the pandemic, and obviously I had a lot of uni work to do, but it was all online. University came and tried to destroy my love for reading. Literally, like, when you have to read for university, the love for reading said, I gotta head out. I gotta go. I don't want to be here. And I just thought, you know what, I need to read. I want to read. Let me start picking up the book and reading again. And this is when I literally started reading this book again. I was pretty much halfway done. I picked it up, I started reading, and I finished the whole entire book in 2 days. I got so emotional. So many things were happening. And I said, you know what, I need to read the next one. And I literally have the next one. Another thing that I took from Renee. Love it. When you have a best friend that loves to read, it's easy, it's simple, it's cute. This is the book after this one, and look how small it is. Beautiful. You can see here, I don't know how the lighting is, but this is the first book, this is the second book, this is the third. So this was basically the last in a series, and then she came up with this one quite recently. Like, I was like, oh my God, to Renee, you need to get another book. Renee was like, what, there's another one? I was like, yes, there's another one. She bought it. So then that's why it was kind of in good condition, because if you know Renee, like, Renee does not treat those books with love. It's like she eats the pages after she's done with them. No shade. It's a very different book. It's not your typical werewolf vampire. It's like a completely different species. I love the originality. It's literally one of my favorite books to date. Not even in a day, in a matter of hours, I finished this book. A Court of Frost and Starlight, Sarah J Maas. What can I say? I read it. This book that I picked up and decided to read made no sense. Like, this is like a different book for me, kind of. I've read 50 Shades of Grey. I read it. I didn't read it with vim. I just read it because I knew it was inappropriate, and at the time I was so excited to read an inappropriate book because, you know, kids, we like to do that. And I had watched the movies too. But so I saw that this was by the same author, E.L. James, author of 50 Shades of Grey. So I was like, oh, this could be cute. This could be good. It's called The Mister. And when I read it, it was so cringe. Like, this was probably the cringiest book that I've ever read in my life, because I was just turning the pages and I was like, this is awful. Like, this is torture. Like, I just couldn't stop reading. I was like, okay, it might get better. What's interesting is basically about a rich white man. He inherited his riches. Nothing special, didn't work for it. His brother dies. It's just messy from the beginning. So the main character has a brother called Kit, and that's who died. And Kit had a fiance or wife. I think it's a wife. And she slept with the brother, the main character. I forgot his name now. Maxim. Yeah, Maxim. So Maxim is the main character, and Maxim slept with his brother's wife, but now his brother's dead. So he's like, you know, filled with guilt and all these emotions. He's like, how can I do this to my brother? My brother's better than me in every way. He's obviously just this man whore that sleeps around with everyone, doesn't really take life too seriously. So now he has to step up. And then he meets this girl, girl from Albania. She's his cleaner. So she comes and she cleans the house, but she's an immigrant. She's ran away because, you know, then people back in Albania, they're trying to catch her. Like, she's supposed to get married, but then, you know, he's falling in love. He's like, oh my God, I've never fallen in love with a poor girl before, and nevertheless an immigrant. So then it's like, oh my God, so cute. He's so different. Everything gets resolved, happy ending, all of that. But it was a very, very cringy book. There was a lot of sex in it. Actually, not even that much. Definitely not as much as 50 Shades of Grey. I'll give this book like a 4 out of 10. A 4 out of 10. I feel like I don't recommend it, but you should just read it to see for yourself. This book probably took me about 4 days to read. But while I was reading this book, I was reading other books as well. But obviously wasn't really interested in this book. So I said, I'm finna take my time. But yeah, this is The Mister by E.L. James. Guys, these are literally my babies. Like, my babies. Let me tell you, okay. The first book is The Throne of Glass. This is by the same author as these. right here. This is called Throne of Glass. It's by Sarah J Maas, and I was basically recommended this book by the back of A Court of Rings and Ruin by Sarah J Maas. I saw it at the back. I was like, this looks like a good book. I looked at reviews online, as I always do, and they said this book is amazing. I was like, oh, I love like a female lead, a fighter, a warrior. She's an assassin actually, and I was like, that's a bit me. When I read it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I'm not gonna get too much into it because I don't want this video to be a summary of the books when not everybody cares. But I was so into this book. Literally, I'll give this book a 9 out of 10. I finished this book in a day. Crown of Midnight is the second one in the series. Sarah J Maas again. I think I finished this book in a day as well. Amazing. It's just a continuation. Not much to say. We have Heir of Fire. This is the third book in the series. Not much I can say about this. It was amazing again. I loved it, enjoyed it. It's a little bit bigger, not too much bigger. I think I read this in a day. But when I mean a day, I mean hours. Like it wasn't 24 hours, probably something like 12 hours or something like that. That's why I was able to get through it so quickly. Sometimes I would overlap and read books at the same time, but typically I didn't. I just waited till I finished it because I was finishing it quickly anyway. And then this one, last but not least, let me tell you about this book. First of all, self-explanatory from the cover. The cover is amazing, can I just say. I don't think I've liked a cover more than this one. This is Daughters of Nari by Reni K. Amayo. And this book, oh my god, black female leads. Never have I ever read a young adult fiction with black female leads. Like every YA book that I read is just obviously white female leads, and every book, because I guess the literature market, whatever you want to call it, is very saturated with, you know, white people, white characters, white faces. There's not much representation at all. This was like the real like first book I've read with black female leads. It was amazing. Felt represented, felt seen. They were talking about braids. I was like, I've never read a book where they're not talking about anything but flowy, like straight hair. I literally related to every single thing, from hair texture to food. Literally, this book mentions plantain. When I heard plantain, I was like, I can't believe it. I'm used to just hearing croissants and flipping cereal. Like it was nice to have some culture in a book. Also learnt a new language on the way because they have a lot of ancient Igbo in this book. Maybe a little bit of Yoruba, but I think it was like mainly Igbo that was in this book. It was just good. It was about two twin sisters, long lost twin sisters. They were goddesses, but they've never known. Their whole purpose in life was to defeat this evil Ezi, which is like, I guess, kind of like a ruler or a king. They don't meet until the very end of the book. So the book is written in two perspectives, one from Nala's perspective and one from Sanai's perspective. So it's very interesting to read how like different they are, the things that go on. But it's good. I'm pretty sure there's another one coming. Can't wait for that. I read this book so quickly. You can even see it's like it's in such good condition because I didn't really have to keep opening it a lot. After I read this book, I was like, I'm gonna make more of an effort to read more books that are written by black authors and that obviously have black characters, because I feel like it's not very healthy to constantly be reading books and, you know, seeing media where you're not reflected and you're not represented. And that's it really. I've just been hiding this section, but this is literally like my uni stuff. We don't really like to talk about that. We don't really mess with this stuff, because one thing about me, I'ma just say, when I have to read books on demand, I ain't gonna do it. Do it for the man. I ain't gonna do it. Do it for the man. Gonna do it. For uni, I just skim read stuff. Quickly, effectively skim read and go my way. Yeah, I do not enjoy reading by force. I think that's with everybody. Anyway, now, how did I manage to read 7 books in 7 days? Number one, as I said, enjoyment. I'm not reading by force. I'm not reading because I have to. I don't have a deadline. I'm reading because I genuinely enjoy it. The same way you would enjoy watching Netflix and it just keeps going. Episode 1, episode 2, before you know it, you finish the series in like 2 days. I think that's the same experience for me, but with books. This was a period of lockdown. It was literally around May, June. I didn't have too much uni work to do. Plus it was online, so it's like I wasn't really that engaged. I didn't have anywhere to really be. So I was just literally in my uni house in Oxford, just reading and reading. So I think having enough time to do so, do you know what I mean? Because I feel like in a normal life, in a normal season, I would not have read 7 books in 7 days. Like I have a life, I have things to do. Like I probably could have read maybe 2, but 7 is a bit excessive. So don't think, oh yeah, I read 7 books every day of my life just for fun. I just feel like that's unrealistic. It's a lot easier when you've had experience reading books from a young age. You know, I attend university now, I do literature. I've done literature pretty much my whole educational life. I picked essay-based subjects, so I knew I had to do a lot of reading, so I've had a lot of practice. So let me say that's one reason why I'm able to read so quickly. Don't be thinking, oh my god, I gotta read 7 books in 7 days now because Peachy Jamila did it. Like, you ain't gotta do all that. I feel like read because you enjoy it. Books are definitely important and books are definitely worth making time for. I feel like our parents have always said that. But that's it for me. That's why I did it. That's how I did it. I didn't really give you guys a summary of all the books because, you know, this is not what this video is for. If you want to know more about the books that I read, let me know in the comments below. Like this video, subscribe to let me know that maybe you like videos like this. I'm just gonna take my tea and I'm gonna go. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I've said that like 100 times. Love you. See ya. If this falls, I'm gonna scream because it's gonna make so much noise. My mom's literally gonna kill me.